What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top right hand corner of Lost and Found LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently up and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is Snute. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down and wants to get on the scoreboard. His name is Stephano. So, guys and girls, this series up to this point that we have, as we've been talking and just, been casting this, I mean, there's just been, so many moments that it's felt that Stephano has had opportunities against Snute, but Snute has just shut down every single opportunity that has arisen for Stephano, and that just comes to show how incredible of a player Snute is. I mean, this guy is just such a great Zerg player, a great just StarCraft 2 gamer overall. He does, he just grinded the game so much, you can tell. Stephano's a legend in and of himself, though, at the same time, played, so much. He's kind of been back and forth between playing professionally and not so much, but he is still an absolute force to be reckoned with, and I'm excited to see, in this game, what ends up happening between these two players. It does look like we are going to see the hatch gas pool opener from Stephano, and the same can be said for Snute. So very early on in the game, you'll see with that production tab at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see that generally speaking, in the early stages of the game of ZvZ, you'll see a lot of times that very similar or near identical production tab. And then, as time goes, a lot of times you'll start seeing the change happen. But that said, it looks like Snute, we are going to see him go for that metabolic boost upgrade, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade. And then on the opposite side, it looks like Stephano's going to go for that evolution chamber. I gotta say, I like some of the ideas Stephano has had. For example, in the last game, he had his natural expansion or natural hatchery. He was going ahead and was constructing a lair, and then once Snute scouted that, Stephano decided to cancel it and go for pretty much an all-in assault. Even though it didn't work, I like the idea of it. Trying to consistently play mind games when you are playing at the highest level of play, and you've played these opponents and these players so many times, it's very important to know exactly what your opponent's doing, but also just trying to kind of switch it up on your opponent and just see if you can maybe get an advantage and obtain and aggressively seek victory at any means necessary. So it does look like the third hatchery is coming in for Snute at this point, and we're going to see a Baneling nest now coming in as well for Snute. And then on the opposite side, it does look like Stephano's creating a spine crawler. He must think there's going to be some form of aggression on his side of the map, which might be a good assumption, seeing as how there are Zerglings that are starting to circle around. A good amount are starting to move towards that natural hatchery of Stephano. And Banelings are going to be coming in. Snute looks like he wants to do a decent amount of damage. So double evolution chambers are coming in. We're going to see a third one coming in. But there is a huge... This wall-off, this potential wall-off is not here whatsoever. So it does look like Snute is going to try to do as much damage as possible. Oh, the Baneling hits are going to be painful. And here we go. It looks like Stephano is going to try his very best to hold on here, as a lot of these Zerglings are going to do a little bit of some damage. More and more spine crawlers are going to be coming in, and it looks like they are moving into the main base location. They are nibbling away at those drones. This defense has been actually pretty good, and what this does, though, is this forces a lot of units out of Stephano, which, even though it wasn't, the most aggressive of pushes, obviously it does do a little bit of, it kind of keeps the opponent on their toes, and that's why, as I said, we're talking the you know, the real-time strategy game of our time, guys. And StarCraft 2 is one that just, you do lots of jostling back and forth, and it's all about what your opponent's doing, and then how you react to that, and the counterattacks obviously are incredibly important. But I really like this counterattack by Stephano that's happening on the opposite side of the map. It does look like he's going to try to get this round on that Roach Warren. Oh, beautiful Baneling hits there by Snute. But these Zerglings are starting to nibble away, and it looks like almost an eye for an eye is coming into effect here as that third hatchery is going down now for Stephano. I would have to say at this point it feels like Stephano is a little bit behind, though, at this point, because now it looks like more and more units are going to be moving across the map for Snute. So it looks like counterattack on counterattack, and this is what I'm talking about. There just ends up being so much happening all over the map. Units are just fighting and trying to really tug a war almost for positioning as more and more units are going to be moving towards that third hatchery of Stephano. But it's a lot of back and forth. It looks like the Roach Warren's going to be coming in now for Stephano as well as the lair. So it looks like he's going to try to go for those higher tier lair-based units here very shortly, whereas Snute is still kind of just trying to macro up a nice force with what he has, which he does not have a lair as of yet. A little bit late on that lair. Missile attacks level 1 is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for Stephano, and this is where it's going to get very interesting, because as we see the unit compositions possibly change a little bit, what are both these players going to decide to do at this point? Now, it does look like Snute is going to see a little handful of Zerglings start moving across the map here, but there are Roaches that are going to meet them. But this is the kind of thing that you got to do against someone like Snute. You have got to do as much damage as humanly possible at any time that you possibly can, and there you go. It does look like Stephano is behind right now in the supply for sure, and there is no denying that. But there is one engagement that could happen that could turn the tides of the fight, as it looks like Snute is preparing to go for another assault on the opposite side of the map. Oh, it all comes down to the positioning. It all comes down to the positioning. Here we go. It is going to look like we are going to see the lair coming in now for Snute. And it looks like a lot of units are trying to move in, and they are going to be met by Roaches and Ravagers. There is a Spine Crawler that is positioned here to do it's going to be in a nice spot to really do a little bit of some damage. It does look like Snute, though, does smartly decide to retreat and head back home before, critical losses really are coming into effect. But these Zerglings are being, sacrificed for the swarm at this point, as Stephano is starting to see himself kind of clawing his way back into this game, and I like it a lot. 4 bases is what Snute's on, though. At least he's going to be on 4 bases here shortly, whereas Stephano is on 3. And it looks like he's going to go for another counterattack, and I love the decision to continue putting the pressure on Snute. When you're playing one of the best players in the world when it comes to the Zerg pieces, you want to keep that pressure going. And the absolute pressure is mounting at this point. Here we go. Snute is going to try to jump on this army. It looks like he is not afraid of Snute at this point. And the question is it going to be a little bit of enough, or is it going to be an overextension? Here we go. More and more Zerg is going to be joining this fight. That is for Stephano. Stephano wants to get on that scoreboard, at least in this game, and it looks like he is pouncing on this army, and he's got the advantage at this point. Snute's supply is starting to drop. Beautiful play here by Stephano, who is now going to start moving into that natural base location, and he has got an advantage. He knows he is ahead now and wants to do as much damage as possible. The question is this going to be a GG, and is Stephano going to get on the scoreboard? The drones are pulled off the line. That's a desperation move. Here we go. Stephano looks like he is trying to just get on the scoreboard in this series that was played at the WCS in Austin, the round of 16. Smartly, he backs off. He wants to go ahead and get that 4th hatchery. Does do that. He already did a lot of damage, and he knows that. Looks like he wisely decides to back off, at least for now. Or is he? It looks like he's going to continue the assault on all these Roaches. as Snoot's supply is continuing to plummet. The question is there an overextension here of Stephano? I don't know, but it looks like it's just going to come down to numbers, and it looks like the strength in numbers goes to Stephano. GG is called, and Stephano gets on the scoreboard. I hope you guys did enjoy this game in this series between Stephano and Snute, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.